Hey, welcome to Girl Let's Agree to Disagree. We are your hosts, Jessica Milagros and Busy Blue.
What's up, my love? It's been so
Hey,
long.
babe. It feels long. It feels like it's been a very long time. 1 week without you, and I don't know what to do. Do you see
I
how this
know,
works?
stressing each other out. Well, we were still texting, but we were still stressed out. We didn't get a chance to talk to each other. I don't like that. Let's never do it again unless you have another job to do.
let's never be apart ever again. Um it's been a crazy few weeks, so I'm just gonna let's talk a little, so as we get people coming in. Welcome everybody. Say your piece, say hello, let us know you're live.
Hey,
Hello,
Sierra.
Sierra. Hey, Beauty. She says, hey, Beauty. Hey, Sierra. Yes, bring it in. Let us know that you guys are alive and well after this veto episode. Which, is this considered a veto episode if the veto wasn't
Girl, I wanted to
used
ask
or
you that
not?
because nothing happened, girl. Nothing. I got so many questions to ask you since you were in the house. Oh, we about to get into it.
Yes. Hey, Brandon. Look at this. We got Miss Elementary. Miss Brianna, yes. Hello. Let's see. Oh, Joseph says BB Cam versus BBS was so much fun. Although I heard on another podcast there was small drama. James Ryan was prohibited from working the show due to his issues with Natalie. Wrong, James.
Not James Ryan. Sorry.
That was the
Don't be
wrong
doing
James,
my
Joseph. Don't do our
Don't be doing James like
James
that. Not
Ryan
my
bogus
James.
like that. James Ryan has nothing to do with it.
Oh,
Yeah.
you want to talk about that before we get into it? Like, how was it to enjoy yourself?
We can.
Hey, Kimmy girl.
Girl, Kemi, look at her saying Stan Derek X. Look.
He's a
That's
little
her.
cutie.
We know where
He's a little
where her head's
cutie.
at. Yeah, he's he has surprised me a lot. I'm gonna give this one to Hannah. And for those of y'all who are wondering about Hannah is actually still in her moving phases. She's looking for a space. She doesn't have a set space right now to like settle down and be able to set up all her stuff. So she may or may not be with us next week, depending on whether or not she can find her actual home. You know, if not, she's just kind of moving from space to space. So we wish her a lot of luck, because that moving is not easy.
It's stressful. We miss you, Hannah.
Yeah, we miss you, Hannah. And yeah, let's talk. Well, first of all, let's talk about, since there was no veto actually being held. We
Wait,
can
I thought you were going to talk to
about
us about your time at the. Did you
yes,
enjoy
well, that's what
yourself?
I was gonna say. I was
Okay.
gonna give people kind of the the behind the scenes of what was going on. I didn't know how I was gonna I was a little nervous. Let's just say this. I was going in nervous because there were going to be some people that I didn't quite get along with and that I kind of didn't want in my space. I'm someone who's all about energy, and I don't like to be surrounded by people that I don't really care for.
Totally
I feel like that really messes with my vibe. I'm kind of an empath when it comes to that. So I didn't know, meeting some of these people or seeing people that I've experienced negativity with in the past, how I was going to be able to handle that. So that being said, I was actually pleasantly surprised I didn't lose my shit.
Okay.
That was good.
That's
so I'm going to give myself an A for effort. I personally wasn't part of any of the drama. The event itself was amazing. First of all, I need to give the props to where props are due.
Maybe it was me, because I'll be shutting down. I'm gonna say that the you probably were talking about the sorry, okay, you froze for just a second. Oh, we forgot to tell them that the storms.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. I know that I personally always have issues with my internet, but I promise it's not me this time. Both Busy Blue and I have
Mm-hmm.
had storms in our area. We are actually still going through a storm right now. This is our third night in a row that we're having severe thunderstorms and a
That's our
couple of
second.
tornadoes. Oh yeah, well, a couple of tornadoes have touched down on our end. So yeah, we appreciate your patience. Would that be the good way to reference it?
Yeah, and Super Test will help get her a better internet connection.
Jolene!
Hey, Jolie
Woohoo! Hey,
girl.
Jolene!
Baby Bangs was down for the count, girl. They took him out.
Well, for some people who were asking, Nick is what it is one of those people. I think it's not a secret that him and I do not get along. He even had a few issues, with Kemi last week on the Twitter. So
Really? He still got time like that? Leave us
yeah.
alone.
I swear people be like searching their names. I don't do that. Do you do that? I don't know. I mean, to each their own. I do not search my name on the internet to see what people have to say about me. Like whatever you
You
feel
go
about
down a
me is
black
your own
hole.
damn business.
It's none
Yeah.
of my business, girl. It's none of my
Ha-
business what you think about me.
Exactly. It's none of my business what you think about me. That has nothing to do with me, honey. I am perfectly fine with myself. Other people, on the other hand, feel like they have something to prove. And so they're
He didn't
always
prove it
gonna,
this week. He
they're
didn't
always
prove it
gonna be
last
doing
week.
that. Yeah. And it was just it was a mess for those who even cared to follow that drama. I was a little worried. But going back to celebrity net fights,
Mm-hmm.
this was set up by Adele. He is a BB Canada house guest, a former house guest, and it was actually Big Brother Canada. A lot of those that actually put this together. And
Wow.
so the way that the fights went is that every Big Brother Canada player had a Big Brother US player to box.
Yeah.
Some of these house guests have had like 4 to 5 months to train to actually get themselves ready to
Yeah.
box, which I was very impressed. Some people, you noticed, they did take it seriously and
Very.
and they did train. Other people not so much. And that's fine because it was still a good show.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting to do this. I don't know why I didn't think to, but last minute I just decided to go live with their weigh-ins. This was actually
I saw that.
a pretty professional fight. I mean, they had weigh-ins and they had the officiants. I mean, it was pretty to the T. They had specific rules that they needed to abide by. And so one of the biggest I don't know, drama filled, not it wasn't drama, but one of the things that got some people upset is that apparently rules state in Texas that if you're over the age of 40, you can't compete in a professional match. So
Who was over 40?
Enzo. So Enzo was training to fight. Godfrey, and Godfrey is Big Brother contestant from BB Canada 3.
Yeah.
And
He's black, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were the only match that wasn't considered professional. It was a spar. It was like a what are they called?
Girl, you know I don't know.
I forgot the name of it. Just for show.
Okay.
It was just kind of
Who won that one then? I guess
we don't know because they couldn't tally them by points because it wasn't a professional fight. It was a considered.
God, so they just got in the ring.
Can someone help me? Do y'all know what it means? The actual term. And thank you, BB. I love this. I love you, BB. Thank you.
It does not take much, BB.
me English not being my first language, I sometimes do not have it in enough of these words in my head to understand. I was like, exhibition. The word it's
exhibition.
That's The word is exhibition. Yes, it was an exhibition fight. So
Okay.
it was a match, but it was an exhibition match, which means that they couldn't determine an actual winner
Oh my God.
using points. It had to be determined by the crowd
That's
or by
crazy.
yeah, so they neither of them were happy. This also means, so technically anybody who was going to go and fight meant that this after this fight they were technically a professional boxer, because this was a commissioned match.
What if you
They're
lost? Were you a
considered
professional
they were
loser?
all considered amateurs.
Really?
Yeah, they were all considered amateur boxers, and now they are professional boxers.
Did they get belts?
Only two of them,
Okay.
the main fight and the co-main fight. So between Casey and Veronica and Fessy and Party and John
Okay.
Party, who was
Yeah.
actually the BB Canada 1 winner.
Mm.
So it was really insane. So that was kind of like the drama in the very beginning when Enzo came in, because none of them knew. And Godfrey he had been training and he was looking forward to like competing in this. And now it was just like a match to
Well, they were
show.
good sports to like even still fight. Because I would have been
Mhm.
like, well, no, I'm going home. I'm not doing this
Yeah.
for play. And I have just done all of this time, and y'all telling me that this is gonna be for show? No. I would have gone home.
Mhm.
So I guess they were still good sports for still continuing to do it.
Yeah, they were, they didn't have a choice. They actually found out the day of, like literally hours. It came down to the hour. Like we were already inside the stadium, everything. It was crazy. One of the great things to see too is that there were a lot of challenge, like MTV's The Challenge players that went to this match. And
Grow! Oh my gosh.
yeah,
Yes.
I got to see a lot of them, and it was very surprising, but I guess not, because you know what, Challenge goes hard for their people, so they were there
They
to
do.
see Casey and Fessy and Josh, and they really showed out. It was we had Amber B from last season of the Challenge winner. She was also a Big Brother contestant on 16. That's
Yeah.
Derek's season. She was there. Who else was there? Big T was there, which I was so excited about
didn't know Big
because
T
I
was there.
love her. Yeah, I love her. We got to talk a little bit. She's also a supporter of the show. She's been on our show before, so that was really exciting.
I had no
Who
idea Big T was
else?
there.
Tori was there. Tori was there.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was definitely, as Brendan was saying early, it was a BB Challenge crossover of sorts. It was very interesting. But to be quite honest, the two that took the show was really Rockstar, Madeline,
Okay.
and Casey and Veronica. They were the two that lasted all 3 rounds.
Rockstar lost, right?
She did, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Not unfortunately. I love Madeline and I love Rockstar. So either one who was to win, I would have been okay with
Been
it.
happy, yeah.
I just knew how much work Rockstar put into this.
Yeah.
When you look at it, she's definitely got close to a 10-year difference on Madeline. So not
And still
just
lasted
that.
all 3 rounds.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
when you look at it, it was like Rockstar lost weight and Madeline had to gain weight in order for them to kind of match up properly. But Madeline also, like, she had a lot of things that were to her favor. Madeline was a professional tennis player, so she's an athlete. She has always been an athlete. She's very, very fast. she felt like she had something to prove because a lot of people look at her and think she's so little that, that she
Oh, she
really
came
wasn't
in ready
able.
to.
She came in ready to prove something.
Yeah.
Rockstar kind of, she always said like she did kind of train with these professional MMA fighters, and she really worked on a lot of things. But
Yeah.
one thing that she said that she was going to be slow, but she was going to hit like a big dude. You know what I mean? And I think when you
Hey, come to
watch, if
Rockstar.
anybody watches this back, you will see the big difference, because like Maddie was just jumping all over the place. She was Energizer Bunny. That girl was just like sweat. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
you couldn't get an edge, she couldn't get the edge in, a rock star. Unfortunately, she did kind of throw some punches, but it was a good fight.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see. Yeah.
What was your favorite one?
When you mean which one was my favorite one, do you mean like which one was the most satisfying to
Which one
watch? Or do you mean like which one was like a good show for everybody? Because, I'm a
I
little
would say the one
biased.
that was the most satisfying for you. It's about you right now.
The one that was most satisfying for me, I'm going to say, was the Dallas match.
Okay.
Because I'm petty like that, and I can be petty, and I will stay
That's
petty.
okay. That's okay.
And that's okay. Nobody's going to tell me not to be petty. And that's that. Okay.
Amen. I love it.
And so I did. I'm not going to lie. Dallas is my new hero. That man was stacked. I was like, as soon as I met him, as soon as I met this man, I will tell you that all the women fell in love with Dallas. Unfortunately, really? Dallas does not have a Twitter. I don't think Dallas has an Instagram. For some reason, Dallas falls off the face of the earth. He's super hippie, super like, he's not. Off of me. Yeah, he's a very hard man to get a hold of. But when I say that these women were flocking toward him, like he just has this energy about him. He's a big dude. He's got these muscles. We're like, how the hell did he get paired up with?
Who cares? As long as they beat him up.
How? I mean, it was a very interesting.
It was Kimmy's tweet. That's whose tweet it was. It was Kimmy's tweet. I was like, I know someone gave me a tweet that I was like, yes, sis, say that. Let's retweet that 1,000 times.
Yeah, Dallas is Kemi's favorite city. I'm going to say that it is mine as well. Dallas has been very good to us. Dallas did the damn thing.
Y'all childish.
Dallas was rowdy. Dallas was lit. It was everything we ever hoped for. Cheers to Dallas.
Dallas.
It was a good time, seriously. And I
love it.
But all pettiness and jokes aside, it was very fun to watch. Like. Wow. It was so good. For those of y'all who want to watch it, it was actually really good. You could still watch it. It's not live. You could still pay-per-view it. It's okay. I'm assuming that it's still $20. You go on the link and watch it, unless you're gonna like try to look on the internet to see if it's if it's somewhere for free. But I mean, it was definitely worth it. The game, not the gameplay, but we went in there and it did feel like we were playing Big Brother too. It was really crazy.
What do you mean?
I don't know how to explain this, and I don't think that anybody who hasn't been on the show will understand.
Yeah.
But in talking to other former house guests, the feeling always is that when you're around other Big Brother players, it's almost like you're still playing Big Brother. Oh. Because there's a certain, you may not like the person, you may not care about the person, but you're still playing like a little game, like where you're not full out
Okay.
You're not full out mean or rude or whatever, because you just never know where you're gonna see this person. You know what I'm saying? Like, who knows if at one point, some of us may go on a Big Brother versus, a Big Brother Canada versus US, show. Yeah. And then half of the people that I saw in Dallas are the people that I'm stuck in a house with. You just never know. So I feel like people always talk to you in like the nice formalities, but then you see the cliques that kind of happen within that. I mean, there was a lot of us. We were deep. I can imagine. And so it was the first time that I had seen so many Big Brother house guests all in one, spot. And David ended up being there. So I wasn't expecting that. So yes, David was there and he was staying with Nick. But see, I wish I could. I'm
not doing this. You know what? But it makes sense. Oh my God. It just don't stop. It just does not stop. Oh God. God bless you, David.
It doesn't. You know what? I personally don't have anything against David. You know what I mean? I saw him. We talked.
Did y'all take a group photo?
No. It ain't like that, baby. No, it is. It is not like that.
What's the group photo? We're waiting for the group photo.
I will never, I will never be that person. I will always try to be as respectful as possible. The only person that I honestly didn't say a word to was Nick. Like, he said hi to everybody and we just didn't even acknowledge each other. It was a little awkward. I think the only time that I saw him was when it was like 7 a.m. and I was drunk as hell and coming up to my hotel room. And he was leaving with his suitcase because he was about to go on his flight. And we ended up, out of all times, meeting right there on the elevator. And it was
oh my God, how awkward. And you still didn't say anything?
Isn't it? No, well, we didn't get on the elevator together. I was getting off the elevator and he was getting on the elevator. And I almost ran into him and I was like, oh, I'm sorry. And he's like, whoa, you're just getting in or whatever. I was like, yeah, I'm going to sleep, and I was like, wow, you're leaving already? He's like, yeah, I got to catch a flight. And I was like, okay, have a safe flight. Because I don't want him to die. That was civil.
That was civil.
Yeah, I'm not going to be a bitch like that, really, until he said something about me. And then I'd be like, that might be a different story.
That was civil. I guess it's great that I didn't come.
You still would have had a good time. I mean, there was a lot of great, there's definitely a lot of great people. I got to meet some of the BB Canada family, and they're so awesome. And I'm pretty sure it's because I've never played with them. So, I mean, it's weird because some of them don't like each other either. And so you just kind of like trying to figure out who likes who doesn't like who, why don't they like who, who's in the clique. Yeah. All of that good stuff. And
I think it's great that, I don't know, because let me not talk too much. I think it's great that people from the challenge came. I was about to say some messed up stuff, but I think it's great that the people from the challenge came to support everyone. I think that's out of everything is cute.
What was really interesting, and I loved it. I was watching. I don't know if anybody else noticed, but when Caleb, Caleb from BB16 Beast Mode Cowboy, he had a match and he was fighting. And when he went to go fight, you see Amber stand up and walk out of the fucking arena. And it was just so hilarious. I was like, I wonder if she did that shit on purpose.
Did you run into, and I just have this question because I have the biggest crush on him. Did you run into Nelson?
Nelson?
He's on the challenge. He was there. He was wearing Fashion Nova. All my
Fashion Nova. I was supposed to. Wait, we're talking about this now. Boy, bye. Are you serious?
I have the biggest crush on him.
Well, let me. No offense to Nelson.
What?
I didn't know it was him because he looked like a Prince impersonator. Like it took me 2.5. It took me a hot second.
That's why I said he was weird Fashion Nova, girl.
It took me a hot second to even know who he was.
And no shorts and the glass and the hair.
His hair was like looking all curly with his little earrings with the cross on it, and he had like the chains, and it was hot as hell. And you're wearing a black shirt and a white long blazer over it.
But he had on shorts. It was. I didn't know what the weather was because he did have on the blazer and everything, but he had on shorts. But his hair was curly. He had on all those chains and everything. He looked the fashion of a mess, but I still think that Nelson's so cute. His teeth are amazing.
He's a good-looking guy. I just didn't know it was him, and I was just like, "Who is this guy?"
Who is this person?
Yeah, because I didn't he looks so much different in person than he does on the show.
You wouldn't have been able to find me. You'd be like, "Where's Busy, girl?" Trying to figure out where Nelson was.
I also got to meet. I don't know. Does anybody watch Sequester?
No.
You've never watched Sequester? He's also pretty regular podcaster on Rob Has a Podcast.
Who?
Oh my gosh, Jacob. Do you know Jacob?
The black guy?
Yeah.
He's so cute too. Yes.
When I tell you that this man, exceeded all of my expectations.
Really?
I will tell you, yes. We locked eyes. You wouldn't have thought he was gay, straight up. It was just like,
are you serious? Please. I saw he was doing him and Tara had just done a morning recap, the things that they do. And I was watching it and I was like, he's a little cutie. Like he's just really cute. And I love his chocolate skin. I'm a sucker for dark skin, even though all the light skinned boys come to me.
When I tell you this man,
he's so
how cute is he?
And he has luscious lips.
And the thing is
stop lusting over this man.
We saw him at the bar afterward, and I looked and he looked at me and I was like, Jacob, and he's like, Jessica, and we just like had a moment and it was just so beautiful. And then I had to tell him off because he kind of did my girl bogus on Sequester when he played Sequester.
Oh, you're one of those.
Yeah. I'm someone who's very big on wanting to be as I don't know, like it's not the word faithful, but you know what I mean, like I loyal. I want. There was a moment where him and my girl Muna, like they looked at each other and they're like, we're gonna do this. And Muna was a hell of a player, and he's the one who kind of messed her over, and so like I felt a certain way, and I was very mad about that. But just that moment, and he knew. We
forgive you, Jacob, and Jacob follow me.
He's like, I know. He's like, I know. But yeah, so so many great people: Spicy V, Julie Vu, Ryan, Hamza, poor Hamza, like Jose like did his thing. He went buck wild on poor Hamza
before the show started.
He went off guns blazing. Okay, like with ham on Hamza. No pun intended.
Rihanna's a stand of him. You cannot go against him. If Rihanna stands you have no chance. And Rihanna stands Jose. So you already knew that you were gonna lose.
And then he ended up calling out Derek Frazier and said,
did you see that, girl? But did you see the tea between them? Like I didn't know that they had beef.
Yeah, well, they going had back and beef. Forth. Apparently, they've had beef since before all of this. Like Derek Frazier,
I didn't know.
Said he was like the most boring house guest, like on all of his. Derek just said a lot of choice words, and then Jose was like, Okay,
I
put your
saw
money where
it,
your
and
mouth.
just he's bothered though, so it got to him. He's very bothered, so much that I'm in the house and you're calling on my name. He's very bothered by you, girl. He's very bothered.
I mean,
You slip showing, Jose. Sorry,
but he's a gorgeous specimen to look at. I'm just gonna
is.
say that Jose is gorgeous.
He is. Okay, let's get into the episode, girl. We know took these people down 30 minutes of the show.
I'm so sorry.
But you guys can still watch it.
You guys can still watch it. All of it is still on. You can click the link. You can get the, you could get it. I mean, it's worth the show.
If it's $20, I'm gonna definitely go see it.
It was worth the show and fun. Yeah. So let's get into this. So there's a lot of stuff happening right now.
Yeah.
Originally, if we're talking about the veto, right prior to the veto ceremony, we have Derek, who's won the HOH, also puts up Sarah Beth and puts up Brittany. Mm-hmm. For Brittany, I mean, I get it, but I don't get it because, girl, drama. I want to be, and let me tell you this. I want to be very cognizant of the fact that that she is what some people say special needs. I'm not, spectrum. She's on the spectrum and whatnot. Yeah. And I understand this. Mm-hmm. So I'm really trying to grasp why the waterworks.
The thing is, you don't want to be the pawn every time. But
I get that.
Where I'm confused is he talked to her first. He already even gave her whispers like, girl, would you be okay with being a pawn? She didn't say no. She was like, wow. Okay, I'm gonna take that as a yes. Okay, and send the next person in. That's it. Talk to me afterwards and we can talk about, remember we had that conversation. Absolutely. She was just giving me a lot. She was giving me too much. And she knows she's not going anywhere.
You would think, I mean, you know what? You always kind of think you're not going anywhere, but there's always that little bit.
Yeah.
For me, it was kind of like I've been on the block, 2 times, and I was eliminated. I was taken out the very first 3 hours, and I was on the block 2 weeks 2 weeks in a row after that. Yeah. So after the first time, it's like, fuck, that hurts, and you're crying, and but after the second or third time, I feel like you just don't have no more tears.
Yeah, you just like, well, here I am again.
It's just like you deal with it, that you're not doing anything. If you're wondering, why am I on the block right now? More than likely, you're not the target, boo. Yes, and I get it. Pawns can go home. But it was intense. This episode was a little intense.
Any soothing her? I feel like at this point, you should already realize, Brittany's just going to go in there and cry. Don't even try to talk to her. Just put her up because she's going to do the same, dog and pony show. Just let her do it. Yeah. She was hysterical. She was hysterical in that room. Oh my God.
I thought
no one else.
Yeah. Look, I get it because to feel like you're the only expendable one is not a great feeling. It's not a great feeling. But I also think it's like, girl, if the way you reacted didn't get you out of the house yet, then more than likely you're because I'm so serious.
Yeah.
When you're acting like that, people just want to get you the hell out. I don't even know how people are dealing with it. It's like you don't want to create that type of drama, because you can always go home. It seems like this girl don't care. She's just gonna, sob. She's
gonna cry and wrap her way to the end.
It was rough, but so you have that, but obviously we know that Derek X has another plan, and the plan is to backdoor Christian. Do we think that this is? A lot of people are saying it's too soon. It's too soon. It's too soon. Let's just put this in perspective. It's week 5, so it's not too soon to do anything. In my opinion, you're going to get out whoever the hell you need to get out before jury. Anybody who is not out this week is going to go to jury.
It's been toe to toe. It's been toe to toe between Christian and Derek X. Like if I was Derek X, I would be looking at him the same way. Every time there's a veto competition or something, even when they had to pass that ball through, like they were going toe to toe neck to neck. If you have to think about who your competition is and where it lies, I would say if I was Derek X, Christian's that guy. At least for me.
There's a difference because it's like, well, competition wise, is that what we're looking at? Or thinking that he's going to win all the competitions? Or I think that the bigger threat is someone staying in jury. Someone like, you know, I don't know. Let's be honest. This jury selection right now, anybody that's there's some petty bitches in this jury. I'm looking at a very petty jury. I'm not looking at I don't see people who are really going to be,
they're going to be emotional, but I see the playing field before they get to jury. To me, it seems kind of even. Like at this point, I feel like it can go any way. And it's all about now, after this next person leaves, Christian, how you now coerce or, you know, really cater to people's feelings during these next couple of weeks. But right now, I feel like it's anyone's game. It's really going to be the politic game at this point. Who are you the sweetest to? Who are you the nicest to? Who did you backstab the least? And I feel like Derek can take this last L, get Christian out, and then after that, I feel like it's kind of anybody's game.
Yeah. I personally didn't care for him to backdoor Christian. I'm like, I get it. He's like,
really?
Yeah.
I'm so with it.
To me, it's like, just do the damn thing. You put two big players up and see who goes home.
I feel like the drama would have been gone because this was really heavy. So did he not tell anyone? And maybe I missed it on the feeds. Because after Brittany did all she did, the Kings all sat down and they're like, okay, what do we have to do? Sarah Beth's asking like, what's happening? He had to put up the kid. And why is this thing they keep doing about the happy birthday? What was that about?
Well, because it's Sarah Beth's birthday.
Who cares?
You know, that's kind of, you know, that's kind of it. Look, people say, you could say, you know, DX did it right. That's fine. Christian's won everything. No, he hasn't. DX has played just as much. DX has won just as much. And so
he is a bigger threat. No, I think DX is a bigger threat.
So is X, so is Kylan. They're all very
Kylan,
good.
You think Kylan is a big threat? Didn't somebody have to save him? Didn't DX have to save him?
But he has an HOH win. What I'm saying is that he, you know, but either way, no. Yeah. Do I think Kylan is a threat? Absolutely, in the sense that he's actually playing the game, you know, so there is a certain level of threat. Christian is just comps. Christian has not really formulated anything in his mind yet that isn't what Alyssa has told him to do.
He also is a showman's though.
Exactly, which also puts a target on him as well, which it makes sense. Get a showman's out before a jury. Believe me, you do not want to be in a jury house with
you told me about it before.
When I tell you that was the worst experience I've ever had in my jury life, is to be with 3 damn showmances. Do you want to know what they were? No, you don't want to know.
No, I do not want to know.
But I'm saying it was not a fun time at jury, except with myself. I got to know myself, myself, and I. That was my thing. But
as they were knowing each other.
But yeah, I mean, maybe it's because I just put 2 big threats on the block. Maybe that's why. I just said, let's go for it. If you deserve it, you're going to get it. But I doubt that. And that's what happened. You know, like but then, you know, I also lost. So.
Well, you know what? So I feel like Derek X is doing the right thing right now. How did you feel about this scene? Which you guys, if y'all watch the feeds, it was true to form. When Sarah Beth came and sat down with Derek X and was like, I'm just going to sit here. And I'm not going to say nothing. And I'm going to wait for him to say something. At first I was thinking, this don't seem like a good idea. But girl, Derek X was like, okay, I can't do this.
Awkward silence. You know, the thing that what I love, and look, Sarah Beth is well, and here's the thing. Let me rephrase this because I want to first start off by saying we have amazing people on this season.
Oh,
like
yes.
Just because I'm saying something about one does not mean that I necessarily do not like them in comparison. It's just like in comparison to the others. You know what I mean? It's like a person that I'm rooting for versus a person that I'm not. But even if I'm not rooting for that person, I still think that they're a hell of a person and that they're good players. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that being said, I'm loving the fact that Sarah Beth, I mean, first of all, Sarah Beth deserves this. That she's on the block. She kind of deserves it. She went way too hard for Hannah. She shouldn't have done that. Like, I have no idea what the passion was behind her wanting to get Hannah out. It's literally why she's on the block right now. Yeah. She does look like she would be the villain of the season in the way that, I mean, and that's what they're playing her to be. And I think she's okay with that. And I think people are rooting for that. She's a likable villain, kind of more of like a Cruella de Vil type of person. Agreed.
I was scared.
She is a little. I saw your post about the whole Chucky doll. Yeah,
girl, she scared me. She scared me.
She is a little. Yeah,
and she has that voice, and she already wears pigtails, and now she's singing nursery rhyme. Ain't nothing scarier than a little white girl singing nursery rhyme slowly. Ain't nothing scarier than it. All she had to do was be wet from the rain, and then I would have screamed. It was very scary. I was disturbed. But sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
But I think she's really. I do believe her when she said that she's been playing her own game this whole time. I hate the fact that X is like still thinks they're in teams and is all about saving the kings. It's like, Dito. I like, look.
No, he wasn't about saving the kings until he fell off. Because at first he was like, oh, you got me, right? Yeah, girl, I got you. Then let's keep the kings together. Why you ain't say the kings when you was up on there? Xavier, your finance is full of okay? And we got your number.
X is like, he's like, teams, I want to keep the kings. Stop. The kings are not going to happen.
Julie said it's over.
Saying the kings. The kings are over. Stop saying the kings. Play your own game. Concentrate on the damn cookout.
I was nervous.
The cookout's on fire. They started a fire. Nobody was tending the grill. All their shit is burnt, and you're here trying to play kings and queens with with your no more team.
Did you think that? I will say, so there were 2 times that I was very nervous in this episode. First time comes later, and we'll talk about that later, but when he was talking to Sarah Beth, even though because you were saying that she's playing her own game, I was afraid that if he told her, she was going to tell Christian in a lesson.
I did too, but you know what? She's a smart girl, and this is why I like parts about her, because she knows that if she tells Christian or anybody that Christian's the back door, then they have enough time to tell DX and to convince him not to do it. And there's nobody else that Sarah Beth is gonna, stay next to. Sarah Beth would be considered the next target. Like, she needed, like, I hated having to, be next to, well, for me, it was like I hated having to be next to Kemi, but I knew that I needed to not say a damn word and pretend like I didn't even exist. I just needed to go with the flow and not mess things up, because that's what people they're expecting. They were expecting for me, and I know this because people told me they were expecting for me to act like Britney and be a bad, and be a bad example of someone that was going to be on the block and annoying and all of this other things, so that they can say, get rid of Jessica because she's acting a hot mess. And I needed to make sure that I played it cool. I was literally a fly on the wall. I wasn't doing shit except listening and I wasn't doing anything. And that was on purpose. That was on purpose. So, because I didn't want a bigger target painted on me.
Sarah Beth's kind of doing that, but when we get to the veto, I don't know. We have to talk about it because my boyfriend was very angry, and I want to get your take on it because I have some feels about it too. Before we get to that, do you think that Derek X really convinced Alyssa Christian and Xavier? Like, look, I had to do this because I had to put somebody up from our team. It seems like they took the bait, especially Christian's stupid self.
Are we talking about the first time or the second time?
Yeah, the first time when they all sitting down and they were like, well, why did you nominate one of us? He's like, well, I had to because Xavier's like, well, Brittany's the target. Yeah, Brittany's the target. But we have to make sure that we nominate somebody from this team. And I just had to decide if it was going to be Christian or if it was going to be Sarah Beth because, I already said that I was going to save you and I said I was going to save you. So I had to pick somebody else. To me, it was so much wordplay that I would have been looking at him like, tell us the truth.
You know what? The thing is that I would have believed it. I would have believed it, except had he just voiced that earlier. You know what I mean? Because here's the thing, this is your alliance, right? So if it's your alliance and you're making moves without your alliance, and I mean, I guess that's the more messed up part, is that these are people in his alliance, which I told y'all. I told y'all that this royal flush was not a real alliance. Like, the people were not taking it seriously. Yeah. And there you go. The first chance someone gets, they're throwing their own alliance member up. Which seems really odd of this season. I've never seen so many alliances being formed of people that they just don't trust.
I think they're just play alliances, but it's hard to know what the true alliances are because right now you even see the Cookout having issues. Like I don't see what the true alliances are. Xavier just thinks it's the Kings.
Well, you're right. I also had alliances that kind of stabbed me. Or I thought stabbed me in the back. Yeah. And it, I don't know. It's just one of those things. But yeah, would I have believed Derek X? No, not really. Not unless it was a plan.
Third eye open.
No, because you guys talk about this. It's like, okay, Brittany's my target, but I need one of us to be the pawn because they can't know that this exists. If that conversation would have happened beforehand, which is one of the things that I feel like Derek X kind of did wrong in a way. I feel like he's coming out of this with a big, massive target on his back.
He's making more drama than need be if he would just have a conversation, even if it's a lie beforehand, because all of this, when I said I was so stressed, I needed a Xanax, okay, before the episode ended. The last 15 minutes of this episode was stressing me out so much. Like, I could not. Girl, let's get to it. So we get to the veto competition selection. The veto comp selection. You got Derek X, you pick Alyssa. Sarah Beth, you pick Claire. Brittany, okay. So if there's anybody I don't want, it's Crybaby Kylan, and then that's who she picked. And he's excited. So then, we get to the veto competition. This one seemed fun.
Okay. Have you watched season 4? Did you watch season 14?
Yes.
Because this reminded me, this competition.
I feel like they've done this in the past, like 3 seasons.
Kingdom. It's called Kingdom. Well, yes, quite a few, but this one called Kingdom of Curl a Lot, right? This was a very similar comp to BB14, and this one was the one that Miss Janelle won, and I loved. This is why I remember it so much, because that was when I saw Janelle like in her glory, because she was in her workout gear and she was going with her hips, bam, 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 and I just remember that, and she was the oldest. Well, she was the oldest that she had ever been at that time, because it was already her 3rd time. She was a coach, right? And so, I just remember that, and she was killing it.
This was really good. I didn't like the competitions as much. I like the chair one. This one, it was cute.
It was Britney's. It was literally Britney's to win. Like, she seriously, with all of the energy that girl has, with all of the karate training, with all of the TikTok
but she
dances,
always won just by this much, except for the last one. That's what was shot. Okay, girl. Okay. Is it just me, or are these prizes kind of whack? Like, it's not even like a question of whether or not you're gonna take the veto now, because the $5,000 came too early, in my opinion. The $5,000 that need to be one of the later prizes, and you need to bump it up. If we're gonna have a $750,000 cash prize, you need to bump this up to like a 25. This is supposed to be high risk reward, no risk, no reward, something like that. Why are you giving us this $5,000? This need to be a $25,000 cash prize in the fourth locker. That really would have switched it up. I feel like it just came too fast. I feel like $5,000 was too low.
Yes.
I just think I hate you so much. I feel like the $5,000 came too fast. Y'all get what I'm saying in the comments? I feel like the $5,000 was too early. And how do you feel about Sarah Beth taking the $5,000? Because I was trying to explain to Tata Bay that in earlier seasons, the prizes used to be better. They used to be giving out whole trips. They used to be giving out cash prizes and trips. So you're like, you know what? Do I need this veto, or do I want to go to Hawaii? Now it's like you're gonna be wearing a leotard.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, obviously it worked, right? Because she kept the money. So it's not like it didn't work for her. Typically when you win the money, you're mad for that split second, and then you literally forget about it. You do.
The other people
in
don't.
That season, that was kind of very similar to my HOH, my veto. The veto for my HOH, where we had to pick and choose whether or not we were going to keep or whatever the veto. Yeah. And they were taking the veto and they were keeping the money and whatever, and they were all exchanging it. And at the end of the day, you know that if you get the veto, you're never going to keep the veto. You're not going to keep the veto. So I think that it was smart. Was it smart?
Tell us your answer.
She felt she was reading the room. She thought Christian was going to go up. She knew Brittany was going to take the veto, you know.
But if she's up here pleading, I was with her until she was up there when Derek X got out, and she's like, please don't. Girl, you don't have the veto, which is what you need because you want to block, and now you're begging to keep the money? Like, it just, in my opinion, she was playing it all wrong. Like, I get it, especially because she got Kylan in there still. She got Alyssa in there still. The people who you know gonna have your background.
Yeah, but here's the thing. There's so many people that if she takes the veto,
they may later.
Someone's going to take the veto from her. So think about it this way. Claire has the veto. She has the $5,000. If the next person wants the veto, they're going to take the veto. They're not going to take her $5,000. They're going to take the veto. They're always going to try to take the veto. And even the people who don't want to take the veto, like someone like Derek, Derek X was a little chump.
Oh, I would have got that money.
All she had to do was just bat her eyes and be like, cry, blah, blah, blah. Don't take this away from me. White woman tears. I'm so sorry.
That was crazy.
You know, and he just like, he got so scared and just like, okay, I'm not going to take it. I'm not going to take it. You should have taken that shit.
Sure,
you should have taken that.
And now he has to be outside of the people who are taking this shit. Okay. But it was, I loved it. I just like watching Kylan move his body around. I was very upset that he got out so early. I thought he was very great to look at, especially when he was doing this one.
It was something that they needed. It was something that it seemed like they all had some very some sexual energy that they needed to bust out. They're just
I was with Derek F. I was like, yes, God, just do it just a little bit. I could just imagine the scene from up there.
But I will say that the very last one scared the shit out of me. It scared the crap out of me. It was like, who was she gonna kill? Sure it felt like she was gonna hurt somebody. It was like, ah!
I was afraid that she was gonna break her. I want to know what the safety precautions were with it. Yeah.
I was like, that was intense. People say I was dramatic.
Alyssa's going like this. And I'm thinking, girl, you really got to catch up the way that girl was going like this. See my neck hurt already.
Alyssa was in the 80s and Brittany was in 115.
And she came out sad. It was crazy. I mean, the girl got it. She won. I am excited for Alyssa to get her phone call. And then maybe a video message later. But
those are also very important.
Yeah, so important. I was excited for her, but y'all, Brittany won. It was well deserved. She almost broke her neck for it. This is where my problem was. CBS, y'all took too much time letting us watch him open up the bathroom door, and I didn't like that because I didn't know I was going to be able to finish the episode. We could have saved just a couple of bathroom clips because I was really upset. So then. I was telling you how I was stressed the last 15 minutes of the episode. Oh my God, I need a Xanax. So it all started with Derek X saying, girl, I'm getting stressed all over again. Y'all, I hope y'all got a cocktail ready. It all started with Derek X saying, I have to talk to Alyssa. And I said, okay, now you made it out with Sarah Beth. I don't think you're going to be able to make it out with Alyssa. And the music, the tension, girl. Oh my God, I was sitting at the edge of my seat. He's going in there, he's talking to Alyssa. He's like, look, there's only one thing that I can do, and I have to tell. And by the way that she looked back at him with that towel on her head wrap. No, he's not even ever coming. I said, this is the abort mission. It was too late. And then it just got worse and worse and worse. She gets out. She goes tell Christian. Wait, did you? Okay, so remember I was telling you that the first time that Derek X stressed me out was when he went to go tell Sarah Beth, but it went well. Then this is the second time, and then it just snowballed. What you have told Alyssa?
Here's the thing. For those that watch the live feeds, they know that this was a back and forth on whether or not that Derek X was going to tell Christian prior, to putting him up. He felt really bad. Yeah. Again, he felt really bad that he didn't give Sarah Beth the heads up that she was going on the block. Right. Again, another miss on Derek X's part, which is what I said. He should have talked to the Royal Flush about this, at least, even if it was a fake, if this wasn't his true intention, he should have talked to his alliance about this, right?
Yeah.
So the fact that he didn't tell Sarah Beth, fine, but now he wants to tell Christian, people are actually advising him against this. Obviously, nobody, even Brittany was telling him not to tell Christian.
Right.
And this is why, because now you gave Alyssa and Christian enough time to try to mess with your head and convince you otherwise. Hence why we at this point do not know, or unless you watch the live feeds and are already spoiled, like a majority of us, you do not know who he put up as Veto, as the next person, because
Christian was not getting his foot off once he got wind, and Alyssa calmed down because she was like, "Oh, I can't handle it." Christian was not going to take his foot off of his neck until it was time until that Veto meeting was adjourned. Okay, which we didn't get to see. Christian was not going to get his foot off his neck. I ain't never watched the Big Brother episode where the people was like, okay, it's time for the Veto ceremony. And the person like, I'm about to go court him real quick in the storage room. This is not about to happen this way. I ain't never seen that.
I am going to tell you something.
Go.
And I hope, and like, I want this to come out as not bitter as possible. And I don't know. Y'all let me know. Like, I'm saying this in the nicest way possible, but white people impress me. Their audacity, the audacity. But I'm saying they impress me because look, like when you grow up brown, if you grow up black, if you grow up a minority, we are taught to be so respectful. We're taught to just, like, someone tells you something, follow the rules. Try not to make a scene. Try not to fight for whatever. Amen. Like, these are, like, you go in, if you grow up poor, your parents say, don't say anything at the store. You ain't getting shit. We don't have money for that. Don't even try to ask. You better don't touch. Don't ask. You're not getting it. This is, like, ingrained in our culture, which I think is a bad thing. And I see it now everywhere. Because now I see how easily, like, white people have such, like, that it's in Spanish it's called fácil, but it's like it's easy, like this I want to say facility, but that's not a word. But what I'm saying, like, they just seem to have such an easy way of just asking and you shall receive. Like, what's the worst thing that can happen? You ask and you get it, because more times than not, they've never been said no to, because that's not a part of their culture. They've been told that they need to, to excel and exceed and take what's theirs, take what's yours. And a lot of people who've grown up in a minority household, that's not a privilege that we've been, shown, and we're raised very, very differently. As Michael Brown would say, maybe,
some entitlement.
Maybe, it's just very different. And the thing is like, when I look at it, I look at it and I'm like, damn, that must be nice. Like, I don't know how to push that hard. I don't know how to push that hard, because when we push that hard, we're then called bitches, we're called aggressive, we're called, so many different, words, to feel as if we don't deserve this.
It was like there were no rules for him, because I would have been like, when it was time I would have said, oh, I missed my chance, I missed my opportunity, and I would have just sat down on the couch.
And again, this is no disrespect to like white people. I mean, this is just literally one of the ways that I see having that, I don't know what would you call
he said, it? I'll be right back. I got the privilege, girl.
That's just privilege. That is one form of privilege, and where you're not thinking about anybody else but yourself, and I was just in awe. I'm sometimes in awe of how especially the way Christian was going so hard, and it's not just Christian, y'all. Like, a lot of people, not just on this season, but on other seasons in general. The reason I didn't fight as much in the house, I will have shamefully had to say, it was because I didn't want to make, those rooms. I was being a little bit more respectful than I feel like I should.
It's a code switch. And you got to make sure that you don't start to look like the aggressor, even though you're just trying to get sympathy or someone on your side. It may not come out that way.
Yes, I will agree with Haru, sinvergüenza. That's the word in Spanish. You are completely without, like, shame. It's like sinvergüenza. You're doing it and you don't even care how you're looking. You don't care how it looks. And I get it. It's $750,000.
Girl, because she said, Alyssa said, we got to go sit down. He said, I'll be back. Excuse me.
And you have Christian say, and Christian's all up in Derek X's face. You're giving them the shame, the guilt, the shame, you're putting every trick out of the book. I'm like, this is impressive.
He was shout out to, though, okay, and this is very random. Shout out to Hannah. Because she said, what you're not going to do is corner my man in here, and I'm going to act like I'm getting
She was there in the thing. She came in.
She left. She came back. She came. You not gonna corner my man. She was looking like she was getting apples. Then she put the apples back. She picked up the bread. I said, Hannah, now there's only so much you can pick up in the storage room. Shout out to Hannah, the real MVP, y'all. She said, y'all not gonna leave my man. I done been lying to say that I have to go to the bathroom so he can spend time with me, and you not gonna have my man in here corner by himself.
She said, what you're not gonna do is, and what I love about, and then again, what I do love about this because Hannah is considered, she's not a millennial, so she's Z.
I think she's Generation Z. Yeah, she's young. Yeah. You froze on me? No. Come back, Jessica. I think she's Generation Z. But y'all, did y'all see that? How she was? Oh, there, you back, girl. You back.
Sorry, yeah. She's Gen Z. She would be considered Gen Z. But so you see that she doesn't have that shame either, which I love nowadays that they also don't feel that because we're learning to teach our children differently, right? We're saying, nah, we already know that this is the way they play. So we're going to tell you can go for whatever you want. You could do whatever you do. There's more representation out there, more than you know. And the people that look like you are doing big things, and you can do that too. Like we're trying to be the difference between our generation of how we were growing up. And I love that aspect. And I think you could see that if you're watching the feeds, you see when Christian was talking to Hannah, asking for her vote, and she literally said, you done messed up. You done messed up, because I know now that I am not a priority for you. So nope, you're not going to get my vote.
And she holds her space with no apologies. And that's what I loved about it too, because in so many seasons of Big Brother, if you see people who want to talk or plead their case to the HOH or whatever in the storage room, people are like, oh, I'm sorry, let me get it. Hannah was like, girl, I'm hungry. I'm about to give me something real quick. And didn't even acknowledge the fact that he was in there trying to plead his case. Didn't even acknowledge the fact she held space. Yeah. Which is what I love about this new generation. It's not even like I'm sorry, do y'all need to talk? Hannah was like, where the bread at? Where the apple's still over here? And it was like a total disregard for him whining. Well, I won't say him whining, him pleading his case for why this is the bad decision to do. It was so stressful because it was like, don't give up, Derek. He put himself in this position because you should never have told Alyssa. You should never have told everybody else. Girl! When Sarah Beth came into that room, we're going backwards now, but when she came into the weight room, and he's like, look, I'm thinking about putting Christian up. And Sarah Beth was like, well, you're going to do what's best for your game. And Alyssa looked at you, if looks could kill, Alyssa wanted to burn a hole through Sarah Beth's body. She looked at her like, I must be missing something here. Because that's not the answer you would give. Sarah Beth real bold. She gonna take this whole house down.
I'm here for it. I'm literally here for absolutely all of it and any of it. Like at this point, whatever happens, I'm just eating popcorn. I'm just like,
Were you upset that we didn't finish the episode? How many times have we done this in Big Brother?
It's not many. This isn't very common. This isn't very common for this to happen in Big Brother. So the fact that I don't think they needed to do it. I honestly didn't think they needed to do it. They could have just, the fact that tomorrow's episode is going to be the HOH, not the HOH, the veto, the renoms and the eviction and the HOH. I feel
which is crazy because it seems toss-uppy. It doesn't seem as clear-cut, at least to me, watching the feeds. It doesn't seem as clear-cut as a decision as, I guess, Big Brother's thinking it is, because this is something you would do if it's only an hour. Like, how much can you edit all the drama that's been happening these past couple of days into 1 hour and still try to give us an on-air HOH competition? Because we already did an endurance, so this is probably going to be like question and answer. Step up, step down, or write your number. Like, I don't see this. I don't see them doing all this in an hour and an eviction.
It's a lot, which might mean that we're not going to figure out the HOH. This episode. Who knows what type of competition it's going to be. It might not be something where we would know. Mm-hmm. So it is what it is. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put the disclaimer banner because I need for people to know that this is a spoiler section. So if you guys do not watch the live feeds, we could say goodbye now. Adios. Buenas noches.
Thank you for watching us. We really appreciate
Thank you for watching. But I want to just let and preface by all of this, because we're talking about now what we already do know, because we do know who he does put up. So if you don't want to know who gets put up and you want to wait till tomorrow, sounds good. We will see you.
You can leave.
You can. I honestly wonder if there is. I'm pretty sure everybody who watches us watches spoilers and is very aware, right? Sure. Yeah, but so now we're going into spoilers. We already know. We didn't need to wait until tomorrow to know that Christian was still going to get put up on the block. Right. Let's get real, right? This was.
What does he say? I never saw. I never was able to see what he said.
What do you mean?
What did Derek X say when he renommed him?
Oh, that we'll watch tomorrow. Obviously, we don't know exactly.
I've been trying to figure out what he said. Somebody said good speech, and I was like, "Well, what did he say?"
I don't. Does anybody in the chat know?
Yo, anybody in the chat? What did he say? Somebody said it was a good speech.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll just state that, as of right now, Christian is on the block, and as of right now, I'm sure that he's still fighting hard to. It
got really nasty. He was calling him everything but a child of God when he got renommed. And right after that, Christian was calling Derek X everything but a child of God, and then had the nerve to try to use the bathroom. And I gotta go open up the door for you.
Yes. Wait. What? Do we know that they're actually trying to do this as we speak? Because I know that it's been kind of a back and forth right now. So sure let's really get to it. Right now. Some of the things that I today has hurt my heart. There has been a lot of drama. There's been a lot of stuff, and I think a lot of it stems from Tiffany. A lot of it is, if they do this, it would, I don't know. It's just a mess. Obviously, Christian and I would agree, for a lot of people, it does not serve their gain to get rid of Christian. Yeah. This is not a good move to somebody. Look, I get it. I was an HOH. I know that you want people to respect your HOH and go with the people that you would want to see go. If you have a target, you want that person out, because obviously you're putting yourself into that position. You're putting yourself in a position, right? Yeah. This is going to screw Derek X tremendously.
Yeah, this was a bad HOH for him.
This was not a good. I don't care what anybody says. This is not a good HOH for Derek X, and I don't like to say that because I wish Hannah was here so that we could say that Hannah was right. I really did. I really did care for Derek X. She saw something in him that we, right, Busy, that you and I did not really see early on. We were just like, why Derek X? She was just like enamored with him. Hannah and Ovi were very enamored with him. And I didn't get it. But I've been very, very impressed with Derek X. I really enjoy watching him, and I really want to see him do well. I love that he has been kind of, taken in with the cookout in a lot of different ways, kind of like picked up by Tiffany and kind of carried a little bit, I love that. He was a big target in the beginning. He's kind of taken that target off, and now he's right back to where he damn started, and it's looking really bad for him. It's looking really, really bad.
I don't know how he can get out of this unscathed. Like, I think because Christian's always going to be mad at it. He's never going to forget it. Neither is Xavier. Neither is Alyssa. So he has now a target on his back. This was just not his. At this point, I feel like you might as well just go and get Christian out, because you ain't nothing you can do. You might as well get your target out. The problem is, I feel like Tiffany, she doing too much, and she's going to now go for Christian. And now Azza, Derek F. Oh, and one more person. Now they're like, we need to get Tiffany out. Did you see that?
Yeah. They're here's the thing. I think, does anybody believe in astrology here? Because I
Yes.
feel
Yep.
like this is big. Tiffany is giving us big Leo energy. Leos,
For
I love
sure.
them. My husband's a Leo, my daughter is a Leo, but Leos can be very controlling. They're very
Mm-hmm.
like lion, like intense at times when they really want their way.
Yep.
They also can state things that may sound a little insensitive, and it's not necessarily them saying it to spite you or to they don't they it's they're not trying to finesse their way. They're just saying things how they see it, not,
Yeah.
and not necessarily to be assholes, right? That
Yeah.
being said, Tiffany has said a lot of things today that has rubbed some people the wrong way, specifically Big D and Azza and
Mm-hmm.
Brittany, obviously with the Jokers, and it had a lot to do with the fact that that Christian's cornering everybody, right? And as he, I guess, should, and has
Should.
made
Yeah.
a lot of people uncomfortable. He's,
Yeah.
he's trying to work to ensure that he stays. And apparently Christian is under the assumption that he has a winning chance to stay, and that Claire and Tiffany would be the swing votes to
I
keep
mean, it's
him in
kind
the
of working.
house. But the thing that Tiffany did not like was the fact that she's being looked at as a swing vote, that her and Claire are looked at as swing votes, because
Mm-hmm.
this potentially then hurts her with Alyssa. If it's like, well, if Alyssa thinks that Tiffany and Claire are the swing votes, if they don't vote, um, if it doesn't vote that way,
They're
then they're
gonna
in bad
blame.
with Alyssa.
Yes.
They're gonna blame Tiffany, right? And so
Yeah.
Tiffany went up to, Azza and Big D and Brittany, because Brittany's also kind of coming in with this charade because she wants it to be a blind side. Um and yeah, and Tiffany went and said, y'all are lying, like basically called them liars in a way, and said, y'all here telling him he has a chance and he has no chance, and I'm here trying to not throw you guys under the bus. In ever, if I'm not saying this, if whoever is watching this and I'm not kind of saying this correctly, please let me know, because that's kind of like what
Mm.
I took from it when I was watching it.
Yeah.
But then again, people like Tiffany don't offend me. Like, to me, she says it how it is. It's
Yeah. Oh
real.
yeah. I
I'm
know
like,
so
I
many
see
people
you,
like
boo.
her.
Like, I
Yeah.
get you. But then things that I say are offensive too, and can sound offensive. And I have to like be very careful with the way that I word things, because people take this shit and they run in the wild with it. And
Yeah.
it, like Big Brother is a game of telephone, and however that person thinks you said it is what, and as soon as they say it to somebody else, that's the truth. That's how it
She needed
sounded.
to
That's what
learn
you
how to
said.
soften up though before she got into the house. It's like everything's business, 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 business with her. Just a little bit, and she's already learned because she's already ticked off people here and there. Even if she doesn't, because she don't like to. My mom the other day, she was like, "Good morning," and I forgot to text her back, and she said, "Good morning" again. I didn't text her back, and she said, "Don't make me act like Tiffany." It's like people have already said to her, like, "Okay, you're just a little." I'm just trying to apologize to you, or I just want us to come to a common ground. We already came to it. She has to get in her head, okay, maybe I am doing too much. This controlling mess is cute outside the house. You gonna lose your alliance and the people around you, and you need us. You can't piss off all the black people now. Girl, like it just don't. And now you upset because you're looked at something, so you come yell at us, girl. And we've been our teammates been on the block. This also. What you won't do is come in this room and tell us anything about anything. Okay, you need to go talk to somebody else. She's gonna lose her blessing and her team.
Yeah, I mean,
Sorry, I just
the
got
only
frustrated because
way.
I'm a Pisces and Leos. Either I work well with them, or they boil my water. Just that fire sign, it boils me. Something about just I can't.
Okay, so Taylor said, wait, Tiffany says the only benefit of getting rid of Christian is not hurting DX's feelings. And this is true. This is true. Like this is not a secret. Tiff wants to keep Christian. Christian is good for Tiffany's game. In no way, shape, or form is Sarah Beth staying any way good for Tiff's game. At this point, a lot of talk between what I hate is that Derek, Big D, Azza, Brittany, all of them, Kylan, have their eye on Tiffany, and it seems like she would be the first one to go out of the cookout, and I hate that. I hate that because she's the one who's putting in the most work, obviously. But we also know when you go hard, you go home. And she's been.
I'm gonna say that's the reason why she's the first to go. She's doing too much.
She's doing.
And she's not even Vanessa-ing it. She's just like, she got her hand in it and she's still trying to take control. It's too much for me. It's too much for me. She's a black mother.
She is. I mean,
she's a black mom. It's just like, Mom, okay, we get it. I heard you already. You can just put Tiffany voice in there. Please stop singing. Just have Tiffany tell us, and we'll just listen to her.
The thing is that I feel that Tiffany is being super more considerate and sweet of the non-black house guests in the house than she is with the black house guests, because it's almost like when she's with the black house guests, her guard is down. She's assuming that all the black house guests that are there with her know that she either means well and that she's going to keep them, that she could say whatever she wants, and it's very transparent because she thinks the same. She says, I don't care, not because, and I know it sounds, oh gosh, I hate it because I know it sounds when she says, I don't care, that she's saying it like dismissive, like, I don't care what you have to say to me. It's more like, I don't care, say it. It's not going to hurt me. That's how she's saying it. What other people are thinking is, I don't care what you have to say to me, as it being very, like insinuating that I don't care about you. So I'm being disrespectful. And that's not how, I don't see that's how she's doing it. But everybody takes things
we're not all raised that, we're not all raised the same way. And I think she's forgetting that. Like, especially, you cannot, I will always go back to that conversation we was having with Kylan, where this man is telling you, like, emotionally, I don't feel like we've handled the situation, and can we still talk? And she's like, it's handled. Because I said it is. Because that's how we talk to each other. That's how we've been ingrained to talk to each other. But it's like, no, I wasn't raised like that, girl. My feelings are still hurt. And it seems like your feelings are still hurt. Let's continue to communicate about this. And she's just cut and dry, which normally works. But it's like, that's not working here. You're hurting my feelings. You're frustrating me. You're frustrating my friend. We also got this other girl who's here with us. Girl, you need to try a different approach. And she's getting to people who have softer natures. You're frustrating Kylan, who looks like he's always at the brink of tears. Azza, who's very sweet and kind of subtle. And then Derek F, who really, I'm just trying to chill and sleep. Like, so anything you say to me that's coming out wrong, as I'm just trying to chill and fall asleep, I'm going to be irritated with. And she's not understanding that everybody's not like Derek X, who, he don't care. he don't be caring about nothing. You got to talk to us differently, and it's starting to bite her in the. I'm sorry. It's starting, especially you see the people that they're catering after, which is probably why she's upset too. When Brittany tears up or Sarah Beth tears up, those people, Kylan, Azza, and Big D, they gravitate towards those softer natured, kinder, sweeter, crying souls. Tiffany, you need to soften up if you want their true loyalty, because right now she's pushing it away because I don't want to be barked at.
Absolutely. Thank you, Miss Elementary, for the super sticker. We appreciate you. I agree with you 1000%. The thing is that this is already week 5 going on to week 6, and child, nobody has any more patience. Whatever face she was trying to portray, it's already week. You're going into week 6. Yeah. Y'all been there. She's been there for longer than a month. She's been there for a month and a half now. Like, think about how long you can actually play.
Play, yeah.
play up.
You can only be somebody else for so long. Then you're gonna eventually become yourself, and
he's just gonna bring. Yeah, you're
is
gonna have
showing.
less patience. You're gonna have less patience. You're gonna have you like as you're coming up with these plans, as people start to not. It's especially when I say controlling. Like she's trying to control. Obviously, we've seen she's trying to control this whole game. Like she's got the chess. She got the chessboard out today, going through the scenarios again. You know, she's doing this, and she's doing this
I can't stand when she's by the chessboard.
She's doing this all the time, and like and it's not, we're talking about not just what makes sense, but also people's feelings, also their emotional attachments to these house guests. Like when people say this is just a game, yes, I get it. It is in ways it is just a game in a sense, but these are people's real emotions. These
real
are
life,
people's real lives in terms of how they care for these people, how they love, how they get offended, how they prefer to be talked to. These are all things. It's not just like, well, this is game, don't take offense to it. Which if I'm going to take offense to it, I'm going to put you on the block. That's how it is. So you better not offend people, because when you do offend people, you become their next target. And it seems that Tiffany ended up doing this and is now being considered as one of the first people that may leave the cookout. And I hate that, because I really do love Tiffany. I do.
I just don't want the cookout to break so easily, and I think that's what's frustrating me the most. No matter who it is, I don't like this crack. I was rooting. I hate you so much. I was rooting for the cookout, so I don't like this. Okay, just because it's getting late, girl, because I gotta get off of here.
Oh yes. Well, you know what? Like, I mean, basically, this is basically everything that we've been saying. You know, right now.
You think it's Christian going home though? Tell us what you think. Right now, I'm nervous about.
As of right now, we're gonna have to just watch today and see how this just pans out.
I'm gonna be up all night.
I thought, Chris, like to be quite honest, it has nothing to do with DX at this point. If DX has messed up his game enough where they can keep Christian, and DX will still be the target for their following week, that would still mess up, you know, Brittany's. It'll mess up Brittany's game a little bit.
That would be easy HOH though. I would throw it to whomever. I would try to throw it to either Xavier, Christian, or Alyssa. If they get out Sarah Beth. Oh, I wouldn't even want my hands on this next HOH. I'll be like, girl, y'all got it, because I know that I'm not the target.
Well, and there's a lot of people for that, right? So now we know that. I feel that the two people that should I mean, Tiffany should definitely be playing. She definitely needs to kind of win this, because if she wants the control, she can't be throwing HOHs anymore. She needs to be winning this HOH. She needs to be gunning for this HOH. Sarah Beth wins this HOH. More than likely, Tiffany's going to definitely go up. There's going to be a lot of... Yeah, and Hannah, those would be, and then we would definitely see the cookout kind of in a bad place right now. Even Derek, because Derek cannot win. You know, he cannot play in the veto. So I think that it is to Hannah or Tiffany's. It should be to their benefit. They should really, both of them should be gunning for this veto. I mean, this HOH. They kind of need that in order to keep this together. I think that this week, I mean, they might start gunning for people in the cookout. Big D looked real pissed. He was talking a lot of shit today. He was talking mad shit today. Like, he came after a whole city. He was talking about Detroit. I was like, oh, okay. You're going to bring all of Detroit in here. You're going to talk about all of Detroit, saying that they're chumps. I'm like, okay, you must have never been to Detroit. I don't know where he's from in Philly, but
he ain't never been to Detroit. They don't play.
They don't play. They don't play. So, you know, I'm hoping. What are we hoping for?
I personally am hoping that Christian goes, only because I like Derek X. I want to see him at least 1 or 2 more weeks. And that the next person who gets HOH is someone from the cookout and they're able to band back together. I don't think that it's going to be happening that way.
I think Ozza and Tiffany, someone said before, they're beyond repair. It's looking bad. And if they're still somewhat like holding it together, it's for the public. It's just for public persona.
We'll see.
So it makes me a little sad, but either way, with all the people right now, I think that anybody that wins is going to be good. Is going to be a good show. Like there's not one person that I'm saying I don't want to win, because I quite honestly, this might be like a hot take, but I think that the cookout could lose someone right about now. I mean, preferably Big D, but
that's the one you keep to the end.
I mean, yes, technically.
Big D not doing nothing.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah.
He falls asleep like in the middle of just like talking to you.
I'm just saying Big D because he's coming after Tiff and he's just talking a lot and doing not a lot.
But he could do that because ain't nobody. I mean, like look at him.
Look at him.
Like he just like when they did he just falls asleep. Like he just falls asleep. Because it has nothing to do with his weight. Because I feel like the way that he be doing ballroom dances. I know the girl can kill a competition, but he not trying to. And that's who you keep to the end. It's just almost like are you trying to play, Derek? Like are you trying to play? Sometimes I really have to question, Big D, are you really trying to even be here? The girl falls asleep when you're talking to her. You keep her to the end. So if anybody can go, it's Xavier. And I love Xavier, but that's the one who I feel like you need to really watch. Because Tiffany's so busy doing mastermind stuff, I don't know about her winning abilities. But we'll see.
We shall see. And I kind of agree. And I would really hate to see Big D in a final 2. I really would hate to see it.
Well, we all would.
That just
keep them long enough to get there.
With the way this
season's going,
and with the amazing players to be carried, get
them the jury.
And no offense, and really no offense to Big D. To be quite honest, it's just it
wouldn't be good. The gameplay is really good.
Stand the level. Yeah, I can't stand the level of disrespect. It's like just stay out of Tiffany's way. That's all we gotta do. Is just stay, just let her do it. So yeah. So that's enough for us. Let us know if there's any other things that you want to comment on. Let us know in the comments. If you have not already, click like, subscribe, click to receive the notifications. On Friday, I'm going to be interviewing
whoever's
next person, whoever's out. I honestly don't know who I would like. I had a great little 6-minute conversation with Whitney. I couldn't ask her anything mean, like she's just like the sweetest thing.
Aww.
Like, I know, I felt really bad. And I was just like, oh my God, she was like the first person that I had interviewed after the last 3 that I was actually excited to interview because she was just like,
I didn't even try to even gather any questions to send you. I didn't even I forgot about her as soon as she
asked her, and like people had asked me to ask her about Sandy Hook and like all of these other questions that really CBS would have probably cut me had they I gone that route. To be completely honest. But she did mention it. She eventually got on to Twitter and she got onto Instagram and she explained the whole Sandy Hook conspiracy. For those of you all who were following that. Whitney was talking about, or Claire had mentioned something about, Whitney doesn't believe that Sandy Hook happened, or she thinks it's a conspiracy or something like that. And nobody could find the videos to it. Everybody's like, why is she saying that? Oh, Whitney. And then, of course, because Twitter is Twitter, they just said, oh, Whitney doesn't believe in Sandy Hook. Like, she's a Trumpy, she's this, that, or the other. There's a lot of things. A lot of people were coming at Whitney with absolutely zero to back up, like without any videos. Whitney has talked about it. She said that was a complete misunderstanding. She even went as far as to say that she wasn't Republican. Whether you're Republican or Democrat, to me, is just like I felt bad that she even had to defend herself. But she said that Sandy Hook, they were talking about conspiracies upstairs in the poker room or whatever. And to Claire was like, oh, they're talking about conspiracies up there. And Whitney was like, oh, like 9/11 or Sandy Hook. And Claire apparently
she took that as her
saying that Sandy Hook was a conspiracy,
because some people think that it's a conspiracy and not necessarily her thinking that.
Like some people do believe that Sandy Hook was a conspiracy,
which is so wild to me.
Insanely wild to me. But nevertheless, there are people who think that, there's a 9/11 conspiracy, and some people go back and forth on whether or not like that was even appropriate to say, but
I don't think it was wrong. It was out of context. It was just taken out of context.
It was out of context. I personally think that I don't like this the whole coming at them and what is it called? I don't believe in cancel culture, to be quite honest. I don't think it works, honestly. As people are trying to do with the Frenchies and the Brents, they're just going to find other platforms, which they have. And they're on to the next one, and then they find people who have also been canceled, and then they just create a bigger world of assholes that are all together, and it doesn't work. It really doesn't work. But hopefully we can get her. I don't know, would you be interested in having her on and talking to her?
Let's text. Let's text. I don't want to say anything out of.
If you don't want to say anything, then you might regret. So let's text later. That being said, y'all, let us know in the comments if that's something that you would be okay with, or like what do you all think? And that's about it. Any other things that you want to say before we go?
No, I think this was fun, and I'm glad we got a chance to hear about your trip and you in the boxing match. I'm excited about tomorrow, and I know my boy. I have an early morning, but I'm sure my boyfriend will be watching the feed, so I'm excited to wake up and see where we stand, because it sounds like they're trying to do this flip.
This is gonna get interesting. Flips may or may not happen. I guess we'll just see, and then we'll talk about it. We'll be on our socials. Make sure that you follow us on our socials, because we definitely will be.
We'll be talking about it.
We'll be talking about it. Yeah. And that being said, we love you all. Have a good night.
Good night.